Hi everybody, I hope everybody is doing well. I am back to continue, I guess, a conversation that I started. I think this is in 2019 when I started this conversation. It's about Orisha, Egun, and the law of attraction. And when I did those videos, I was primarily talking from a standpoint of someone who is specifically initiated into our tradition, and but they still study many other things. One of those things being the law of attraction. And one of the things that I noticed then, and I've noticed it kind of, it doesn't, it's not just there in that community where people want to completely let go of religion when it comes to specifically being a part of the African traditional religious circles, because there are quite a few religions that come under that umbrella. Okay, they don't want to acknowledge Jesus anymore in their life. Okay, I don't know that this is something heavy that happens with people who are from other religions, but I know heavily they sometimes the vitriol that can be spewed from a person that has recently left the church and come to more magical practices is just amazing. Okay. However, it is a process that is something that you don't just let go of. And why do I say that? A lot of us, our ancestors come from the traditions that we are in the process of eschewing, divesting, getting off of us, trying to get it, wash any idea of it away from us. And our ancestors, which is what all African traditional religion is rooted in, which is the veneration of your ancestors, especially if they're here in this country, but it depends on where else, they have been Christian. If not Christian, they have been some other form of religion. They've been another religion, and it has not been this one. Okay? Now, that means that there are, like, take for instance this. A lot of people will go, I have been heavily challenged on this too, honey. When I did those last grouping of videos, I was in a place where I was about to be heavily challenged by somebody I was close to at the time on why I did things the way that I did them, specifically within regards to honoring my ancestors, or within regards to crystals, or within many different things. It's interesting because over time you eventually I find out that there are paths of the Orisha that definitely deal with crystals. I also began to understand way before then that, especially here in this country, oh my goodness, if you have family that comes from the South and they're Christian and you practice in this tradition, on Sundays when you are venerating, if you do venerate on Sundays, some people choose not to, I don't know, it depends on the person, but on whatever day you decide to venerate, if you decide to play a little Negro spirituals, or some, which then becomes gospel, if you decide to play that music, you will feel a shift in the energy in your home. I have seen it happen too many times. And then I have heard from at least a priest of Oya, and she's much older than me in the tradition, and a recent priest of Oshun, who's younger than I am in the tradition, publicly say that, okay, we know about the traditional African foods and stuff like that, but our ancestors take, ribs and barbecue. You know what I mean? My ancestors get collard greens and cornbread. That Sunday morning, that going to church. There are times I do readings, and I'm here at my channel. There are times I do readings. I'm looking at the clock, everyone. Although I don't really have to do that anymore. There are times that I do readings for people, and I have literally had to direct them, you need to go to church. I don't know when's the last time you've been in the church, and they be like, what? Like, what are you saying? Your ancestors are related. You need to go to church. There are some blessings in there for you. I know there are people out there that's just sacrilegious and okay. Next video, next soothsayer. I'm not your twist. Okay? But the real truth is that sometimes our connection with our ancestors is built off of old things that they used to do that they recognize and they respect. They won't say, I haven't had them come and say, you need to let this go, it's demonism, okay? Or, and go to the church. I've never heard that before. Because they know that their descendant is not there with me for the reading for their purpose. But it may be about feeling and being within that energy with you. They will travel with you to the church, and they want to be with their bloodline feeling that. I think there's something metaphysiologically going on at that moment that we just have not tapped into. Okay? It can be a very daunting process to come to these traditions and recognize that there are so many similarities in the traditions that you're running from in this tradition. Now, there are some very serious things about this that are totally different, just totally different, honey. And they're not going to be anything like what you've ever experienced. However, through ancestor veneration, we don't let go of all of our roots. You also find that at this channel, I'm not one that demonizes ancestors or people in our bloodline who lived here and did not have stellar lives. Because through ascension and time, they become just very different energy and beings. And I stand on my word with that one. What I've noticed in the Orisha tradition and ancestor venerating traditions is that people want to be in those traditions and kind of forget that they're calling on mama and papa to help with different things, and they believed in Christ to the end of their time, but they're willing to come to your shrine and deal with you and what you're dealing with because they are ascended in most cases and are clear on that it's simply energy. It's not going to kill you to read them a Bible passage. And it won't hurt them to hear your, new age music if that's what you're playing, trap music if that's what you're playing, jazz if that's what you're playing. Do you understand? It is a beautiful kaleidoscope of energy when they come and you are welcoming of their energy and they understand. I mean, the very act of setting up an ancestor shrine or altar or boveda is an act of revolution. You are revolting against what you knew, against what your ancestors taught. The very fact that they come and communicate with you at those actual places, those sacred spaces that you have set up for them, they know the deal. And you know the deal. So there's nothing wrong with a little give and take at that shrine. Now, some people will go, oh, well, if you invite the drug dealer, before you know a give and take could be, you doing drugs. No, that don't make no sense. That's not what ancestor veneration is about at all. And that's not going to happen because you're not going to do that. That's not something you're into. And if they are requesting that sort of thing of you, then you know that they are not as elevated as they should be, and you got some more prayer to do. You need to call in some older, deeper Egun to help continue to evolve this person. I have not seen that type of energy at a shrine before, but I do know that some people tend to cast out these ancestors who lived these former lives and say that they're no good. Just like they're saying right now that Eating meat is no good. There are people who don't eat meat, and that is fine. And there are people who do, and that is fine. That has nothing to do with ancestor veneration. I know some people who are full-blown vegan will take some ribs and drop, get them made and put them up on their shrine because they get a taste for them from the ancestors. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I taste of ribs. Y'all ain't had ribs in years. What's that about? And they're evolved in African traditional religions, and they go, maybe there's an ancestor that wants that, and they go get some ribs and put them up on their shrine. Hello. No vegan was hurt in that process. Unless they're very deep about that process, but ribs are being made anyway. Just get some and put them up there for your ancestors. For people that would not do that, that is a personal choice. My point in bringing this up, when it comes to Orisha, Egun, and Law of Attraction, I have noticed that Law of Attraction is kind of the catch-all phrase that I'm using right now. But if you look at the former videos that I have here that are addressing this very same topic, it is that people want to take out the holiness, the holy rolling, the religious aspects of spiritual edification that the law of attraction seems to offer. They want to take that out of that entire process. So as I said in those former videos, now you take it down to a logical 1 + 1 = 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, steps that people think that they can do and then affect that change. And that's not necessarily the case. That's why if you're listening to these gurus, if you are talking as a person who helps people myself, a lot of the time people put themselves in such a twisted bunch about how they will put an offering down. A simple offering for their ancestors. Because they don't think, I think I might have done it wrong. How could you do that wrong? You just put it down. It's the beginning. When you are a person that is seasoned and have been doing this for quite some time, now everybody's going to expect you to know what you're doing. But when you are brand new, it is a different process. And when you're brand new, to be vehement against what you came from because it has really ticked you off, which is completely understandable, and take that to your ancestors, don't be shocked if you don't get the response that you want. They may be a little quiet. You had to go there wanting to build a relationship with these energies, with these people who had personalities when they were here on this planet. That is what you're going to do. You're going to sit down with them and venerate them. And I'm not going to stick close on that because some people will say pray to. Oh, I will never pray to my ancestors. I'm not doing all that. Venerate a prayer. Say it the way you want to. But the point is to build that relationship. The point is to build that relationship. And not keep yourself in bondage to the pain of what you felt before, but to move forward in the magic of what you're about to learn now. Now let's talk about that. Let's talk about the magical component of this. Because I think that's the next thing. When you got that 1 step, 2, step 3, you got that process in place, the magic goes right out the door. Because now you think you know exactly every little thing that went into the process of how things happen. You put an offering down for the Orisha. The Orisha have their entire process. And you deign yourself to know what they're doing? Really? I tell you this, everything is better with Orisha. Much better. Much better. Okay? And sitting in a place of respect and understanding that I don't know the mysteries of the Orisha, but I am grateful that they bestow upon me their blessings. And that is exactly what it is. It is, I am not commanding these energies because in this tradition, these are the natural forces of Olodumare. This is not some being out there that you just commanding. A lot of people have anthropomorphized the Orisha, and that is not That's to know they don't look like human beings now. Now, there were some that did come down here, that, according to history, according to Pataki, according to that entire chronological history that is sitting there, or oral history with the different elders and everything that are speaking. Some of these Orisha were physical people, but quite a few of them were essences that came down here. There's a deeper mystery to this entire process. And when we decide that it is necessary to take out of this process our resolute way of offering our heart on the altar of spirit, when we decide to take that out of it, then we become these energies that are looking for direction and don't understand it's okay. It's okay to still have a reverent nature about yourself. It's okay to still worship. Okay? You could find yourself needing to go to church one day. Be like, I'm just going to listen. I go listen to the gospel. You find yourself needing to go to the Kingdom Hall because you need to hear those answers. You need to feel that energy. You can find yourself needing to go to a mosque or needing to go to a temple because it is what you know. It is historically what you understand and specifically what your ancestors understood. In ancestor veneration, it's not the process to then deny the ancestors that. But the ancestors move on a much higher realm. They're moving so fast. And they're helping to push you to understand they're not stuck in a church. They're not stuck at a mosque. They're not stuck at a Kingdom Hall. You understand? They are with us at all times. But sometimes, they might be like, it might be nice for you to go hear some gospel and cry a little bit. They're going to move the energy and let you just boo-hoo at the church. I'm going to tell you, I love a good gospel song. And those churches when churches are having the gospel groups tour from across the country and going to different churches, because that's what they do. Sometimes you get some of the best soul-stirring music on that Sunday. I'm just saying, I've had those experiences when I was on my path of searching and understanding things years ago. And it does not shock me when I meet people who I have to calmly say, this is not your path. God bless you. And the ancestors got out ahead of them to let me know. You are to let them know. You know what I mean? And then it does not shock me when the ancestors come. Could you please just get them? We just need them to go to church. Just one time. Just want to get. There may be something about the drums. There may be something about the bass. There may be something about the maracas or the tambourine that's going to loosen something off of you once you hear it. Because, the name of my channel is called Bathing in Herbs and Dill on the Run. Bathing in herbs is about bathing yourself in natural components on this planet to change your aura and to change the energy around you, therefore flowing through you. Let's be clear. Sound can bathe you. Sound can bathe you. There are times that we have the blessing of running into a person that can sing and do something to some airwaves that comes out of their mouth that sends chills up our spines. And they're not on TV. We don't know who they are, and we'll never see them again. And sometimes that spirit speaking, singing right through them. Don't get so caught up in holding yourself apart from the ways of old. And the ways of old are not that old. They're kind of current on this land old. Not back before this land old. But this land old. And then blending further back into that process. But not to skip right past it. I wanted to come here to make sure that I kind of tied all that together. This video will be going up shortly. It will have the same title to it, but part 3. And I guess I'm 2 years out speaking on it. Hey, baby. Hey, honey. Okay. Everybody enjoy your day. Peace.